We see the simple pendulum. First, ideal simple pendulum. A heavy particle suspended by massless, inextensible and flexible string from perfectly rigid support is called as ideal simple pendulum. We know the pendulum. We have seen that in a previous lesson. That is a that called as a practical simple pendulum, where we use a metal sphere suspended by a light inextensible string from rigid support. Length of simple pendulum: the distance between point of suspension and center of gravity of a heavy solid sphere is called as length of simple pendulum. Just we have shown here. This is a string and where a metal sphere is connected. So from this point up to the center, whatever the length is called as length of simple pendulum. सिंपल पेंडुलम म्हणजे एक साधा दोऱ्याला बांधलेला लोखंडाचा एक गोल स्पियर आहे, घनगोल ज्याला आपण म्हणतो. तो घनगोल एका दोऱ्याने बांधला तर त्याला म्हटलं जातं सिंपल पेंडुलम. आणि त्या स्पियरचा सेंटर आणि जिथं तुम्ही त्याला टांगून ठेवलं आहे, अडकवलं आहे, तिथपर्यंतची लेंथ म्हणजेच तिला म्हणलं तर लेंथ ऑफ सिंपल पेंडुलम. If the pendulum is displaced through a small angle theta and released, then it begins oscillate on the two sides of its mean position. This is the mean position and we have pulled it up to certain distance on one side through certain angle theta and release it. It start performing a oscillation. Let m be the mass of a bob, that means a sphere. L is the length of simple pendulum. At a displaced position, the force acting on a sphere or a bob is first tension T in the string, second weight mg of a bob acting vertically downward direction. What is a bob? Bob, that means a metal sphere. The weight of bob can be resolved into two components. Remember, in a simple pendulum, weight get resolved, not a tension. Two components. One component is mg cos of theta along the string and mg sin theta perpendicular to the string. Mg cos theta balanced by tension in the string. So tension in this direction towards the suspended point and mg cos theta opposite it, so both balances together. The only unbalanced force acting on a bob is mg sin theta, because to balance this mg sin theta there is no any opposite force present. This unbalanced force try to restore the bob to its mean position. Therefore, restoring force acting on a bob is F is equal to minus mg sin theta. So this force mg sin theta take the bob towards the mean position, or it pull the bob towards the mean position, called as a restoring force. Due to restoring force, the bob accelerate towards the mean position. As theta is very small, therefore sin theta is approximately equal to theta. Substituting this value in equation of restoring force, we get value of force is equal to minus mg into theta. But from figure, angle theta is nothing but arc length divided by the radius. Here radius is nothing but length of bob. So theta is equal to x divided by L. Substitute that value. So F is equal to minus mg x divided by L. Mg and L constant. So force is proportional to displacement, and that is a condition of simple harmonic motion. Therefore, Bob perform SHM, simple harmonic motion. For small displacement, the restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement directed towards the mean position. For small displacement, the restoring force is directly proportional to displacement and opposite in direction. Therefore, bob of a simple pendulum perform linear SHM. Due to restoring force, bob accelerate towards the mean position, and therefore acceleration of a bob is nothing but force upon mass using F is equal to ma. So A is equal to 1 upon m into F. Substitute the value of restoring force as minus mg into x divided by L. M cancel. So A is equal to minus g divided by L into x, which indicates that A proportional to minus x. Considering the magnitude of acceleration, A is equal to g divided by L into x. We know for SHM acceleration is equal to omega square x. So both are the acceleration. We equate both the equation. So omega square x is equal to g divided by L into x. Omega square is equal to g divided by L. Inverting 1 upon omega square is equal to L divided by g. Taking a square root, so 1 upon omega is equal to in square root L divided by g. We know period t is equal to 2 pi into 1 upon omega. Substitute the value of 1 upon omega. T is equal to 2 pi into in square root L divided by g. It gives period of simple pendulum. From that you may calculate the frequency. We know frequency n is equal to 1 upon t. Substitute the value of t. So this term get inverted. Therefore frequency is equal to 1 upon 2 pi in a square root g divided by L. As we have calculated period t is equal to 2 pi in a square root L divided by g. From that you may write the laws of simple pendulum. First law, period of simple pendulum is directly proportional to square root of length of simple pendulum. That means t proportional to square root of L. Here it is indicated. Second law, period of simple pendulum is inversely proportional to the square root of acceleration due to gravity. That means t inversely proportional to square root of g. Third, period of simple pendulum does not depend upon the mass of a simple pendulum, because in the formula of period of simple pendulum there is no mass term present. Hence, period does not depend upon mass of simple pendulum. Period of simple pendulum is not depends upon amplitude provided theta is small. If theta is small, t does not depends upon amplitude. Second pendulum. A simple pendulum whose period is 2 seconds is called as simple pendulum. That means pendulum having a period 2 seconds is called as a second pendulum. We know the formula of period of simple pendulum as t is equal to 2 pi in a square root L divided by g. But for second pendulum t is 2 seconds. That means in place of t we substitute 2. So 2 equal to 2 pi in a square root L divided by g. 2 get cancelled. Shift pi to the other side also. Therefore in a square root L divided by g is equal to 1 upon pi. Squaring both sides, L divided by g is equal to 1 upon pi square or L is equal to G divided by pi square. Length of second pendulum is different at a different place of earth, because at a different place value of G is different, that you have studied in 11th standard. So it is smaller at equator and larger at a pole of earth, because acceleration due to gravity is smaller at equator and larger at a pole. So G at equator is small and G at pole is large. Assumptions while deriving period of simple pendulum. So to derive the period of simple pendulum, we have assumed certain things. First thing, amplitude of oscillation is very small. That means theta is very small. So this is the first assumption. Second, length of string is large. And last, third assumption, during the oscillation, the bob moves along a single vertical plane. It is just playing in single vertical plane, not a round shape. So this is the motion of a simple pendulum. And the period of simple pendulum based on these three assumptions. Mass is attached to the spring. So mass is now at a mean position. See, it is at mean position. Now I will displace to it the extreme position and release. It start moving in between two extreme position and around the mean position. It moves from extreme, mean, extreme. Continuously it take this path. This type of motion is known as a simple harmonic motion. So particle move around the mean position between two extreme positions. Now we see the motion of simple pendulum. Initially it is at a steady position called as mean position. One side I will displace it to the maximum displacement from mean position called as extreme position. Similar, there is a second extreme position opposite to the first extreme position. Initially it is at a steady position known as a mean position. Now displace the pendulum towards the one extreme position, release. It start performing oscillation between two extreme positions and around the mean position. It move towards the one extreme, then mean, again second extreme, continuously. See that extreme, mean, extreme. This path it takes continuously, called as a harmonic motion or simple harmonic motion. I will take a disc and fix to the string and just rotate slightly and release it. When you rotate it slightly and release, it start performing oscillation, partly clockwise direction, partly anti-clockwise direction around the mean position. This is also a simple harmonic motion known as angular simple harmonic motion. Differential equation for angular oscillation. Angular oscillation or torsional oscillation. That means angular oscillation is also known as a torsional oscillation. A metallic disc attached centrally to a thin wire hanging from a rigid support. If a disc is slightly twisted about the axis along the wire and released, it performs a rotational motion, partly in clockwise and partly in anti-clockwise sense that just we have seen. This motion is because of restoring a torque produced in a wire. The restoring a torque produced in a wire is proportional to corresponding angular displacement and in opposite in direction to the angular displacement. When this disk is displaced from this point to this point and released, it starts oscillating in this direction. This is because of certain torque get created into the wire, and this torque bring the spring towards the mean, bring the disk towards the mean position. The value of that torque is directly proportional to the angle through which disk is displaced. So torque tau proportional to angular displacement as a theta, but direction is opposite, so negative sign taken. To remove the proportionality sign, we take a constant. So tau is equal to minus c into theta, where c is equal to minus tau divided by theta. C is called as constant of proportionality, or using this equation, restoring torque per unit angular displacement. So restoring torque per unit angular displacement is also called as C. If I moment of inertia of a body, then torque acting on a body is tau is equal to I alpha. That formula we have derived in rotational motion. We use this second torque and this first torque. We compare both these torques, and after comparing both the torques we get equation I alpha is equal to minus c into theta, where alpha is nothing but angular acceleration. Just like the linear acceleration, a is equal to d2x by dt square. Angular acceleration can be written d2 angular displacement as theta divided by dt square. Substitute that value in above equation. Above equation becomes I d2 theta by dt square, which is equal to minus c into theta. Alpha is angular acceleration, therefore this equation may be written as I into angular acceleration, which is equal to minus c into theta. This part we see later. First we complete this part. Shifting minus c theta to the LHS, we get I d2 theta by dt square plus c theta is equal to 0, known as differential equation of angular SHM. This is a differential equation of angular SHM. Now considering the second part. Shift this I to the RHS. So angular acceleration is equal to minus c divided by into theta. C and I are constant. So angular acceleration is equal to minus c divided by, and theta is nothing but angular displacement. So angular acceleration is directly proportional to angular displacement. This oscillation perform angular SHM. So both the equations are similarly we have derived in linear motion, where in linear motion differential equation is m d2 theta d2x by dt square plus kx is equal to 0. This is your differential equation in linear motion. Similar equation you get in angular motion. In place of m there is I, in place of x there is a theta in angular motion, and in place of k here is a c. Only these three factors get changed. Theta replaced by x, c replaced by k, and I replaced by m in a linear motion. To find out the period of angular motion, let omega square is equal to c divided by I. Therefore, substitute that in equation number 2. We substitute here this value. We get angular acceleration is equal to minus omega square inside bracket angular displacement. Now we consider the magnitude and shift angular displacement to the LHS side. So angular acceleration divided by angular displacement is equal to omega square, and this can be written as angular acceleration per unit angular displacement, which is equal to omega square. Taking a square root, angular acceleration per unit angular displacement is equal to omega, and we know the formula of period, that is 2 pi upon omega. Substitute the value of omega, then we get period of angular SHM, which is equal to 2 pi divided by in square root angular acceleration per unit angular displacement. We have seen the definition, but we write again the definition of angular SHM. The torque for angular acceleration is directly proportional to angular displacement, and its direction is opposite to that of angular displacement. Mathematical form, it can be written as tau proportional to minus theta. Tau, that means torque for angular acceleration, which is proportional to the angular displacement. Its direction is opposite, therefore negative sign is taken.